And we're live. What's up, everybody?
Good day, good morning, good evening to our international viewers and listeners, wherever you may be.
Yay. We have an intro clip that we're supposed to run ordinarily, but today I'm not going to run it because...
That's old school anyway.
I agree.
It's not trending anymore.
I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good value anymore. So what's up? How are we doing? You're back. You survived all the tornadoes and whatnot. How are we doing?
I'm broken but healing, excited to be home, and ready to have this a chapter in my memory book. Not all bad, but most bad. What about Josh? We should say, where's our co-host? He's sick, so we're doing this, right?
Yeah,
we should.
Anyway.
Well, hey, he was due. I certainly had but I got doctor's notes and casts. I'm supposed to be wearing this thing, but I kind of refuse to. It's like I hate it, right? I'm not wearing that. They said it's not broken. It could, but it feels like it could be still. I have a follow-up visit next week with my primary care doctor. Mm-hmm. She'll treat me with tender, loving care, I'm sure.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
What are you doing? You enjoying some breakfast there, Mr. Maher?
Man.
What you got going there?
This is the macadamia nut cookie.
Oh, baby. You got some fuel going with that?
Are you back in with the content yet?
I made a video today about how I injured myself doing a card trick. I made a long form, kind of told the whole story. It's been like 3 weeks since I've been on YouTube on long form, so I just kind of wrapped that up and explained why not a lot of magic will be happening this week, although I'm trying to get some one-handed stuff together. But, I can use this to hold cards, just not like any strength things. So, yes.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but I feel like in a week I'll be fine. I just, it's kind of an interesting challenge, doing magic with one hand, especially when you're a sleight of hand guy.
Yeah, I know, right?
I was
being a sleight of hand guy sucks sometimes.
Yeah, although I've dipped my toe into the dark side, the gaff world so much over this pandemic, I don't mind it so much. But I kind of feel like this is an interesting challenge to see what I can do with just, in particular, the left hand, which is not my better hand. But with magic, it's not always a thing. So, I don't know. Do you have any tricks that come to mind? I had one that came to mind, which was the old Charlie A. Cut the Aces with the crimp. And there's a real good version of this in Stars of Magic. The Pump Room Fantasy is the name of the trick. So I was reading that last night. So if nothing else, this injury inspired me to reopen Stars of Magic, which is always a joy for, it's a great book.
Just do this, Doug. So you display the card, and then you do a one-handed top change.
Maybe. That's an Eric Jones move, right? Is that right?
Yeah, clips.
Yeah, I practiced that, but I'm not going to learn that this week, and hopefully by next week I'll be back to two-handed magic.
No, learn it. What's the reason not to learn it? Learn it, post it, done.
There was a reason to learn it, and then I stopped doing it. I don't know why did I stop doing it? Now do I want to relearn it? Maybe.
You stopped doing it because it was too hard.
Oh, yeah. I'm such a wuss when it comes to hard magic. I always give up easily.
What do you think of my vanity deck stack? No, it's like a wall of cards.
Large. That's fantastic.
That's funny, right?
Do you have a new favorite?
Those are just the ones that I use. Yeah, lately I've been really enjoying the casinos, the cherry casinos.
Really? See, I don't like those as much. I found them way too flimsy. Yeah, they're nice. I love the colors, that's for sure. I love the design.
You found them flimsy?
Yeah, but maybe I'm just
I think they're a thick stock.
I'm a brute with a deck. Let me see.
These are a thick stock, man. These things
I'm not just talking out of my ass. I really like the design of these and was excited to get them, but they do feel thick, but still, I don't know. For me, they just felt like they weren't holding up right. But now I'm feeling them, thinking maybe I didn't give them enough love. Look, I'm going to keep these on my desk.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
I'm enjoying them. I like the general aesthetic of them. I think they're great.
I agree. They're beautiful cards.
Taking after Mr. Ramsey, I see, Jason. What in what way? I don't think I get that comparison a lot. A lot of people say that like me and Chris Ramsey have a lot of similarities, but I don't see them. I don't think that we have many at all. For one, he's German.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he was Australian. No. The Ultra move. I see Patrick Schwa. That's the original. It's a Harry Lorraine technique. He had a one-handed top change back in the day.
He does love the cherry casinos, does he? I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. I don't know. No, I got sent these. So Murphy's Magic recently sent me a bunch of things, which was great, by the way. I was super excited because, I like getting magic. But they sent me a big box full of magic, and in that box was like every Cherry Casinos deck that was on the market, basically, including this. This is gold cherries. Ooh. So the cherries are like gold foil stamped on these ones. And they're so you can see here, this is what they look like. So they look like the original black release with the red cherries, except the cherries are gold.
That's a nice looking deck.
It is a nice deck. And yeah, they sent me these as well, which are freaking awesome. So I'm not sponsored to talk about these at all, by the way. They just sent them to me as like a kind of like a gift to keep making content. And if they, the deal is that if they want to use my videos to help like promote their stuff, I give them permission to do that.
Nice.
So I'm not sponsored by them. But in saying that, though, I don't mind telling you that if you like good cards, you should probably go and pick these up while they're still available, because these are nice, man. They're really nice deck. Comes with a double facer and a blank card.
Double backer.
Okay. Sorry, double backer and a blank face card. And if you know anything about good card magic, you can do a lot with those. But yeah, they sent me a lot of cool stuff, man. I got this man, I don't even know. I got stuff that I don't even know about. We got to hang out with Cody for several hours today.
I think this is what they call first world problems. Cody is a Murphy's Magic?
No, Hildebrand.
Oh, Cody Hildebrand. Really? Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Erin was asking about him, and earlier she goes, "Where's Cody Hildebrand been?" I said, "He's got the same problems I've got. Can't get on the For You page."
No, he's got a child.
Has he been producing content or not?
Not nearly as much as he used to.
Yeah, that's what I figured. And
which by the way can only be a good thing, because like to continuously spam must take a toll, and two, it must like I reached a point personally when I was doing the 365 where one of the biggest reasons why I stopped is because I could no longer reach the vision with quality that I had.
Yeah,
right. Because I didn't have the time and stuff. So that was why I stopped.
Yeah, the challenge is real to do it on any regular basis, right?
Yeah.
Especially you put a baby in the mix. I'm speaking from experience. That changes everything.
Yeah, he's got a baby.
Yeah. I recommend babies over magic if you had to pick one. So at least he's got that going for him. He has the best thing life has to offer. In my opinion, having children is maybe the meaning of life, if there is one, at least for me.
Yeah. People say that when they have them.
Yeah, it gives you that true love feeling that you can't explain unless you've had it. It's true love, right? Like I've loved women. I love my wife dearly, but the truest love,
like the first example of unconditional love, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There's Daniel J. Shields saying babies are gross.
I'm glad I had them, and now I'm still young enough I can do things, right? Like I never wanted kids early in life, and then they started popping up in my world, so I just rolled with it. Turned out all right.
It's funny that you mentioned you're still young, so you can do stuff. Because how many times when you were younger, it's like say in your 20s or whatever, did you think that like a 50-year-old man was like that's the end of it? Like you're like, that's old, man. And then once you reach that age, you start to reach these ages, and you just sort of realize like, Actually, I feel more lively, energetic, and motivated than when I was 20. You know,
it's all timing's everything, right? So I'm just feeling that way because I'm on a good roll, right? I'm in a happy place in my life, and I'm able to be excited about the future in any way. I felt that way before, and my brain generally likes to think it's in its 20s or 30s anyway. But yeah, it's great to feel that feeling for sure. Yay, life.
well, Daniel J. Shields is a Sydney magician, for anyone wondering.
You consider babies? Bob, I'm sorry to stop this, but Bob's asking, and I'm curious, before we leave topic, have you thought about babies, Mr. Maher? You're going to make
Yuki and I are like trying, but not trying, if that makes sense.
Okay, all right. You're open to the possibilities of things happening.
Yeah, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah,
if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So,
all right, what were you saying?
Careful, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what penguin magic lectures do we recommend? I actually am a big fan of the older ones. The newer ones for me just feel like I don't know. I feel like a lot of them are pumped out just for getting some cash. But the older ones were really good, like Konoya Harbottle. That's a really good one on Coin Magic. David Roth, another good one. David Stone, another good one.
I haven't seen a lot of them, but I cherry picked a couple of my favorite magicians and was very pleased with David Williamson's live event.
Williamson's another good one. He teaches a good rope routine.
Harry Anderson's is like an epic class in how to be epic if you listen. It's 4 hours of Harry Anderson talking. Come on, are you kidding me?
It's there's another one that's Gazzo Osborne.
Oh yeah.
But he doesn't teach magic in his lecture. He just shares stories.
That's the way that's Harry's lecture for the most part.
And those are the ones that I enjoy the most.
Yeah,
I find that tutorial lecture ones, they kind of just bore me.
Yep.
Because you can only learn so much magic. And I think I'm at a point, it probably sounds a bit obnoxious, but I'm at a point now where it's extremely difficult to learn something new in terms of techniques because I know it all. I know a lot of it or most of it.
Yeah, right? I get it.
Yeah. And then, but then when there's theory, that's where you really learn. That's what gets the creative juices flowing. And
yep.
Yeah. So I enjoy that sort of stuff. But I guess if you're still a young budding magician wanting to learn stuff, I recommend Konoya Harbottle teaches some cool stuff with coin magic. John Armstrong.
How about
by the way, did you know John Armstrong was on do you watch Lucifer?
I do not. That's Satan worship, and I don't do that.
As a joke, right?
Right. That's correct, sir. Everything a joke is except funny.
It's hard to tell with you Americans,
Yeah, well, come on. With me, you can guess I don't have too many taboos in my world. So
well, yeah, they did a thing with the Magic Castle, a whole episode of the Magic Castle.
Oh, really?
Adam Wiley was on it, and they even talked about Di Vernon, the professor of magic, and having a drinking contest with David Copperfield.
Is this? I'm sure. I'm assuming I can just tune in and enjoy that, right? Is it recent?
It's on Netflix, season 6, episode 1, I believe.
I will watch that.
Yeah, it was a good episode, and our friend Adam Wiley was on there.
Great, he's been crushing it, man.
I've actually heard while doing that.
He has found a groove, and he's riding that wave. Good for him.
Yeah, I like him. Good. I had a little brief chat with him.
Good. He was riding the 200,000s with me, and I kind of jumped up a little bit, and then he just stayed there. I was like, man, I know he's putting out good work, and it was going to happen. And now he's just like yourself. I'm over here in TikTok limbo.
It happens, man.
Yeah, I'm not sweating it. I'm still bobbing around.
I mean, he's still doing better than most, right?
I don't know.
I just
I keep the faith and keep plugging away. That's the mantra.
Yeah, it's pretty much my MO, just posting stuff.
That's life, really.
I'm reaching one of those mental epiphany breakthroughs where I want to post content for me again.
Right.
Not for an audience, but for me. If the audience enjoys it, great.
Mm-hmm.
If not, oh well. So yeah, it's a weird thing. It happens every like few months where like I'll start posting stuff because I really enjoy posting these things, and then it slowly turns like into farming for likes and all that, and growth and stuff.
It's
and then
a
I get sick of
necessary
farming.
evil. If there's any success to be had, you have to mix it up like that, right?
Yeah.
And ultimately, you reach this pinnacle where both things come together. You're producing the content you like, and everyone likes it with you, and that's the best case scenario. I'm feeling a renewed vigor, and I can't put my finger on any one specific thing, and it's probably just having a break from this chair that I'd sat in for basically a year straight, aside from the wedding. But yeah, I feel like
see some outside, man.
See some outside, and coming back, I'm really re-energized to like looking forward. We're a month away from season starting in New Orleans, and I'll be able to get back out there. I'm happy about that too.
Yeah, we're a month away from our Freedom Day here in Australia.
Yeah, Freedom Day.
Yeah, that's what the government affectionately called it.
Yes,
after taking away the freedoms, they giveth them back.
So speaking of Netflix shows, have you seen the new Steve Martin? Is he on Netflix? It might be a Hulu one. It's Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez in this murder mystery scenario. What's the name of that show, Aaron?
I'm not actually big on TV shows, as it were.
Well, it's a series, right? But here's what I'm big on more than anything is Steve Martin. Steve Martin wrote this thing. Yeah, I need the name. No, it's got amazing reviews on Netflix, and we were going to start watching it last night, but ended up doing something else. I don't know what we watched.
I've been playing Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3.
What happened to World of Warcraft?
No, I took a recess from that because I discovered that they did a remaster of this game that I played in like 2010.
I see.
And it was so I would easily say it's one of the best games ever made in terms of storytelling. And I finished it 2 times in a row.
Wow. Yes, thank you.
I played it from start to finish and then played it again from start to finish.
That's how good it was. That's must be a good game. I'm a big gamer. I've never done that.
I recommend you give this game a try, man. It'll change your life.
What style of game is it? Like a role playing RPG style, or
it's an RPG shooter.
Okay, all right.
But it's just a good story. Like it doesn't. It's one of those games where it's more about the story than it is about the game.
I get it. I've been enjoying the new Battlegrounds update for Hearthstone. They've officially taken it out of beta and given it its own button as official. They revamped everything, tons of new additions, and if you haven't played that in a while, take a look at that on the Hearthstone board.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's Battlegrounds renewed in a big way.
There's our negativity from Daniel Shields there. He's like, nah, they're gonna extend it. Yeah, you know what? They might extend it, Daniel, but until they announce it, I'm gonna just stay hopeful that they don't. Because
from what I've seen from the Australian public with what's going on, if they extend it, that's gonna be a shit show. It's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, it's starting to get dangerous now.
Yeah, right.
To keep extending it, especially now that they've like forced us, like mandated us to get a vaccine. Right?
Yeah.
And now we're getting it. You know, we're all getting it. And then they say, "Oh no, we're gonna have to extend it." It's like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah, unless they're showering you with free money, is that happening?
They give us a bit, like a little bit, but it's
okay.
It's not.
Yeah.
For some people, it might be good. For some people, it might be good. For me, it's a financial deficit.
Yeah. Well, at least you're getting something. At least you're getting something. They're making you stay at home.
Yeah, but I want to work.
I know, right? That's the way to be happy. Sitting at home collecting government checks is not good for the soul.
No, not at all.
I
want to work, man. I'm dying. I can't do it anymore. Running low on the mental energy because of the lockdown. But
having performed on the best stage there is on the planet, it's hard to do other things.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, I'm fanging to get back to making more YouTube content because. So I think I'm going to go back to start posting almost daily long forms again, just because once I go back to work, I wanted to be doing that anyway, and I'm like, maybe I need to get the ball rolling before the lockdown ends.
I look forward to seeing that content. I know you're going to crush it, and I think that's going to make a huge difference in your YouTube world.
Yeah.
Either way, selfishly, I look forward to seeing it. So go get it.
Well, yeah, you know, see, there's Bob. He says you have time. Yeah, I do have time, but it's really hard to get motivated to film stuff when you're stuck inside all the time, man. Because it's the same setting, it's the same look, you know, same feeling. Like, you know, I've been sitting in this fucking chair so much.
And I'll tell you, when I came home, one thing I did was I took everything out of this room, cleaned it, reorganized it. I got a little new shelf back here with some new backlight and options going on here, and like my desk is cleared with the monitor over here. So for sure, having that, you know, restart kind of feel,
reinvigorate your life. Yeah, I did a little spring clean of my area as well because I received all this magic and I had a big pile of stuff here, and I was like, I gotta sort this out, clean it all up. So now it's all done. Feels good. Got a lot of stuff, man. They sent me this.
Keep doing that. In about 5 years, you can open a magic shop.
So what? Yeah, they sent me this one. This is the 3 dice ones. This is like a $500 magic trick, and what made it even better is that they put an extra set of dice in there for me. So I've got this.
That thing makes a noise when it opens. That's how fat that is.
I think it's dead.
There it went. That's just crazy town.
Yeah.
That's a prop I want. You know, it's a prop that's not COVID friendly, but it's a prop I want. So.
It's not COVID friendly. It's all right. No, it's pretty COVID friendly.
Yeah.
I think it's easily one of the best. The last magic shop in Australia just shut down because of the lockdowns. No. So Penguin, Piper. Yeah, I can't even remember them all anymore. Hey, Presto shut down finally. The last magic shop that we had. Wow.
The last brick and mortar.
That's a little upsetting, man. That they would shut down or have to shut down because
were they in Sydney?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Permanently closed. Yeah, you're right. Wow.
You know, they've been falling like dominoes in the United States since the early 2000s. I was one of them. We had a shop in the French Quarter, me and Mark Faulkner, and just, you know, every year the internet continued, more shops would fall. And let me tell you, it's a rough. Early in the day, what they would do is go watch the demos, and then they would come in your shop to see how it looked up close, and then they would go back and buy it on the internet for $5 cheaper rather than support the store. You know, so that was really rough.
It's unrealistic to ask people to pay more when they can get it for cheaper, right? Like. It's extremely unrealistic. So
yeah, it is right. Yeah.
So I guess magic stores would have to find a way to, you know, to function without, you know. I guess that's why they were closing down.
Here's maybe my dream retirement spot. It's a coffee shop with a stage that has a magic shop attached to it. And when I say magic shop, I mean a variety art store with juggling supplies and maybe whips or, you know, whatever weirdness I want to put in there. But you support it with a theater and a coffee shop, right? So you got some food and beverage and entertainment tickets.
So the main sales would obviously be coffee and food and stuff.
Yeah, right.
And then it would be followed closely second by being able to buy magic and whatnot. And
also the tourist would buy the stuff that pays, you know, for a magic shop space, but then you could support some of the veteran, you know, items if you want. I don't know. I just see that as the way it works. It's certain. There is a guy doing it right in the United States, Brent Braun, and he built a theater in his shop as well. So he thought enough to connect this. But Brent Braun, J&B Magic, he is keeping hopes alive for a brick and mortar establishment doing it right. I'm sure I've talked about him before on here enough.
Yeah, Brent Braun. Yeah, we've discussed him a couple of times.
You know,
But yeah, it's it's a magic shops are
even giants like Magic Incorporated in Chicago, which is a huge shop. They produce their own books and they have a huge inventory. Even they were threatened with closing over the last year and was granted some money by some wealthy people, large amounts of money to keep that place open, just out of the generosity of their heart. It's like, man, it's so sad to see the history falling away.
Yeah, I mean, the world's in a very, very precarious state right now. It's very weird.
Things are changing,
But I guess it is what it is. You can't go to your local magic shop now and pick up one of these. This right here is a Kennedy $50. Okay, with enough finger strength.
Wow.
Rip that puppy in half, baby.
Did you just tear that coin in two?
And then I can actually restore it back to its former glory. And that, my friends, is I don't even know. I don't know why I own this. I don't even know how I got this. I just remember I never bought this. I know that much. I know someone gave it to me, but I don't know. I don't remember who or why. I know it wasn't a magician though. It was someone that was like, "Oh, Jason might like this magic trick," and then they gave it to me.
One of the tricks, it's a coin trick I've been thinking about is the Fickle Nickel. This one, the one-handed coin vanish. You just close your hand and open it, and it's gone.
That's been getting advertised a lot lately. Have you noticed that? I've seen a lot of people, where they go like this, like, and then it's gone, and then to catch it, they're like, huh.
Oh, yeah, that's not the Fickle Nickel. No, this is you just put it here. You do this. You have to do this, and then you do this,
right?
And then to bring it back, you do this.
Are we talking about this?
Yeah. It's IT and WAX.
I actually think I've got one of those.
I tried to make one, but my wax, I have cardon sealing wax, it just melted, and the coin fell off, and I'm like, God damn it. So,
you know what I've got? I've got a CTG.
CTG?
Coin to glass, sorry.
Coin to glass.
So it's like a deck of cards.
Oh.
You know the one? Yeah,
I do. Is it multiple coins? You can do like 2 or 3?
No, this is the OG one. So this is it's like the first one.
That's a great effect.
It's all automated. It's freaking insane. I don't know why I have that either, but I just do, and I have never used it. So it's just been sat there and like.
Does that use like clockwork gears and such?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty elaborate little setup.
Bob knows the pain. I should know better too, but I haven't used IT in like years. But man, I want to do that Fickle Nickel. It's on my radar.
I can't really get past using IT tricks. Anything that uses technology. I can't really get past it. Not because I don't think they're good. There are some like apps and stuff that are really great. Those ones there, I guess, are a bit more reliable. But
how about that Unverdi dice? Like, would you want to like if you're doing a show, it's a $5,000 show or something? You got to be impressive. Would you put that on your
which one
in the show?
The mental dice.
Any electronic trick, but just say for example that one. It's a great trick, and I can imagine it kills.
I hadn't finished my story yet. Yeah. So
pardon moi.
So there's a Rubik's Cube trick that I got in like a few years back and it's not being sold anymore, and I'm okay with kind of telling you what it did because I would highly recommend nobody ever use it.
Okay.
Basically, on the app, if you turn the cube on the app, the picture will change to match this, right? And I turn it again, it will instantly change to match it. And so essentially, you could have someone take a cube and mix it behind their back, and then when they're done, you could essentially snap a pic of it without taking the phone out of your pocket, right?
I see.
And it would be like a prediction. You predicted that they would mix it exactly like this. Anyway, the idea was cool, and it worked like once or twice, but then it always would fall apart. It would never work properly.
Mm-hmm.
And so that really put me off using them. The only technology trick that I use is the mental dice. So
Yeah.
yeah, it is actually the only one that I use. So I do carry that with me when I do gigs, especially because if you wear like jeans, if you wear jeans or something and you've got that little coin pocket,
Yep.
it fits in there perfectly, right?
Right.
You put the thumper in there, you put the dice on top, and then you're just ready to rock and roll the whole night. You can feel it through your legs, so you don't need to do anything fancy. You can carry around weird stuff. You just produce a dice. You can let them play with it. It's a normal die for all intensive purposes, right?
You don't got to sell me on this thing. It's on my list. I will buy one eventually. I love that prop. I'm just, wondering if it goes in the big show, but maybe it does.
Like the street show, or like on the streets or something.
I'm just wondering if you rely on that technology. If you're say you're performing for, the Queen of England or someone of significance.
This one I would. This one I would absolutely rely on, especially because the way you can present it. I start off by presenting it as a game of chance. So there's a good to fair chance that I'll be able to guess exactly the number that you roll.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then that way if it fails, you can just move on. Like you're like, okay, it's not working right now. So
right.
But it's never failed for me, so I'm not worried about it. Like every time I do it, it's always 100%. It's always extremely accurate, very reliable, never feels bad.
Good to know.
Yeah, so that is good to know, isn't it?
Hey, I'm wondering if you're interested in like the gravity reel. Have you looked at this thing? The thread animation system? Like this is taking, I think, it to a high limit where you're relying on this computer technology to run the cues and to pull the thread as well. So it's doing mechanical and computer things. Have you seen this thing? Have you know what I'm even talking about?
Say it again.
It's called the gravity reel. I mentioned this because Murphy's, I think, produces
Scorpion?
it. The gravity reel.
Right, but it's the Scorpion, right? Like
it's called
automatic reel.
Well, it's relatable to, if I'm not mistaken, Sean Begonia's animated Hank system, where you're able to control the thread animation through a series of motors built into this reel. So it's an open-ended loop system. It's not just one string. It's a loop. But I don't have one. Okay. Well,
I've never heard of it, I'm afraid. But then again, for me personally, real magic is the one thing that I completely avoid.
Man, you're preaching the choir there. I searched for the longest time to find a good regular reel. Still not happy with what I found. And the ITRs are just unmanageable if they break.
Yeah, even loops, man. Like I can't do it. There's something about them that just bothers me. Like, they snap and they break.
Here's the thing I don't like: floating stuff. It's like if you're gonna float something, it shouldn't look like it hangs on a string. Yeah. 90% of the time it does.
That's what I mean. Yeah. I've always thought about that too. A friend of mine recently posted the isolated pen illusion, where you balance the pen on two cards and then you take the cards away and then the pen is just suspended there. Yeah. But there's always that moment where you take the cards away and it's like, boing.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God. Okay.
Paul mentions PK Touch. That's a good application for thread work for sure. The system I always liked was,
but I do PK Touch, but I don't use thread.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. The original didn't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the one I learned. That's the original.
Yeah.
I've never had a need. Not only that, if I want to make something float, for example, like the muscle pass is just as good. Being able to make a coin float with a muscle pass, for example. That's the side there.
The problem with floating, even if you do it really well, the spectator generally is going to say thread or magnets. And whether they're right or they're wrong, they're going to assume that, and then it doesn't matter what's right or wrong. They know it's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
I've never been one for floating.
Light animations are great, or even maybe just a small float. You know, I've seen guys use loops where they get the bill between their hand, and maybe that could be good. You know, some guys are good at that, but
I've only ever seen one version of that I thought was like pretty cool. So normally they always do that thing where they float it like this.
Between the hands, right?
They're like, wow. And then they like grab it. You're like, dude, come on. Like, you couldn't be more obvious. And then the only version, like, I do one version of that. And the way that I always did it was that I would take like a card, for example, and I would be like, all right, I'm going to make this card float. Check this out. Wow, it's floating. And then I would turn forward. And then I would turn forward. It would be suspended for like a second.
Nice.
And I'm like, whoa. And I just grab it. I'm like, whoa.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah. Because like at the start, it's like,
yeah.
Like, oh, it's in your mouth. And you're like, yeah, you got me. Whoa.
Right.
Yeah. So it just gives you this moment where it's like, rather than it being a trick of it floating, it's like a gag. And then there is like a moment where they're like, wait, did that float? Was that floating for a second? Like they're unsure now. So now it's like, instead of it was floating, they're kind of guessing,
right?
Maybe, I don't know if it was floating. Was that floating just then? And then they don't think about the strings or anything then, right?
Paul mentioned one, which is not bad because it negates that wobbling on the string, which is the spinning object. In this case, a mint. You could do it with a coin, or I used to sell a light flight. So it's the mint spins and floats, and then it floats into your mouth, which is kind of a nice finish. Of course, this is based on Steve Fearson's wonderful floating cigarette, where the cigarette floated to your mouth. That's a good levitation. He would start with the cigarette and balance it on his tongue. So the cigarette's balanced on his tongue, and then it would be balanced on the tip of his finger. And then he would overdo it. But man, these early moments are just so strong, like balancing a cigarette on the tip of your tongue. Where do you see that, right? It's like so arresting.
Yeah, there was one thing that Josh showed me about, like, where you get the business card to balance like this, and then you can have it like stand up. Like
okay,
that.
Nice.
And
nice.
that's a cool way of doing it. Like, I think that like magicians just want to go for the hard float, like it's floating.
Yeah, right.
They want to go for the hard float, and
they want to do the Eduardo.
Yeah, it just ruins the whole illusion. Like, I think the only floating trick that I've seen that I like is the Lysander's floating table. Right? Because it's the only one that, like, you do the trick, you can lift up the thing and show that there's nothing underneath it.
Which, have you seen Tommy Wonder's
with the box on the top?
The bird cage. He does Okay, so he does the zombie ball with a bird cage.
That's another one that I like.
He altered the gimmick, which Lysander adopted. So the Lysander floating table uses the Tommy Wonder zombie gimmick, which has some unique adaptions, let's say.
Yeah, I like the zombie ball as well. It's a good trick.
I like it on the bird cage. What a cool trick. You put a bird in a cage and then float the cage, but the bird can fly. Why are you floating the cage? But when Tommy does it, it makes sense. He's putting the bird in the cage because it's chirping and it's bothering him. Then he covers it up to make it quiet, right? And then it's quiet, and he looks, and then the ball starts floating away. So.
And he's like, hey, come on, man.
Tommy Wonder.
Gotta do a show. Yeah, Tommy Wonder's creative, though.
He is that.
Most magicians just aren't creative. Like, especially by today's standard, man. There's too many self-working gimmicks out there. You don't really need to be a good magician.
I think the quote that fits, I think it's a Di Vernon quote, is that most magicians quit thinking too soon, right? Like,
yeah,
maybe not that they're not creative, they're just complacent with, so many things, like we could go on for hours. I don't know. So many bad magic tricks that are magic things that are hackneyed and still in use that should have evolved years ago.
Well, the cups and balls is always going to be a great one. What is creativity? Yeah, that's a good question.
That's a good question.
It's one of those, like, what do you call them? Man, I can't even remember the name of the fucking people that think about stuff now.
Them people think real good. And I ain't in the mood to talk about none of that creativity.
Creativity is a strange topic too. Because
it's like trying to say, what is art?
Yeah.
Art? Yeah. Well, like, creative people make art. What is creative people? Well,
I always find it funny that the most creative magicians are quite often like not the best performers of magic, right? And then if we're looking at like trick creation rather than like
true.
And then you've got the people that are really good at performing, but they're terrible at creating tricks. Like if you gave me a bunch of like things, like I'm talking the thin elastic thread, some X-Acto knives, a bunch of cards to cut up and do whatever with, I'd probably come up with nothing. I probably wouldn't be able to make anything good. I would just be, I'd have no clue what I was doing. But then if you give me a bunch of stuff, a bunch of magic tricks, I could come up with a performance, a presentation. Like I could turn it into something unique. Like I could take something where it's usually performed like this and do it like that instead. Change the whole letter on it. But yeah, don't ask me to create a magic trick.
Yeah, most of the things that I've created are derivative, and I think when you talk about creativity, I think much of what people say is creativity is derivative. In other words, you're taking another artist's work and then evolving the work to another work. I don't think
that's what happened with my sandwich effect, right? That was a combination of ideas that ended up with something.
And it happened to the guys before you that emulated Marlowe or whoever Hofzinser was doing his sandwich back in the day. Who knows? It's the same way for most art, music, and probably painting. Rarely is some breakout art form created where you're like, wow, that guy just blew open the doors. I don't know that it's happened in my lifetime in magic, has it? Maybe.
Yeah, it never seems to really change, does it?
there are guys, I'm getting in my head. I'm getting flashes of a guy like Piff the Dragon, who that's a unique perspective. Dan Sperry came to mind.
Are you talking about people that are like have weird personas?
Unique points of view, right? Where they're like having instead of evolving based on, like say I emulated Harry Anderson. Well, who did Harry Anderson emulate? I don't know. Did he just produce
Did you really emulate Harry Anderson?
Well, I was certainly, I did when I was younger. Yeah.
You know how many people I get these days commenting on my videos saying that I am like you?
That you're like me? Really?
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
No, I don't know that.
I just think it's because there's no one else really in the public eye at the moment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so the only comparison is you and I. They're like, oh, you're like, I did the Chinese sticks, which also got a ridiculous amount of views as well. I was surprised.
Good.
I think you told me that yours got like 500,000 or something as well. Mine also received this large number of views. And someone was like, oh, I saw Doug do it first. And I'm like,
yeah, it's a little known fact. I created the Chinese sticks.
Yeah, like that's the thing I find so funny about it. I'm like, what the heck? Oh, you just copied Doug, and I'm like, yeah, right. I was like, I gotta know what to tell you, man. Like,
well, you could tell them that Doug copied Fred Capps, so that's what I did.
I just let him have it. I don't really bother trying to negotiate and discuss things with those people.
Yeah, it's irrelevant, right? So.
Yeah. What's your favorite non-card, non-coin magic to perform? For me, it's cups and balls or rope magic. Easy one. Easy question.
Yeah. I'd go with probably sponge bunnies there.
Yeah, that's right. You love the sponge bunnies, don't you?
I do.
I can never wrap my head around it. I just don't, maybe it's just not my character or something. I'm not really sure, but I just can't do it, man. Can't wrap my head around it. I used to do the hair thing where you're like, oh, you've got a loose hair, and I would just produce a bunny. I wouldn't even do anything with it. I'd just produce it and put it away.
Yeah, that's good.
Or I would do some gags with it where I'm like, check it out. It's a bunny running. And now it's a split hair. You split it. And then you go, look, it's a bunny running on water, and you hold one upside down on top of the other, and you go like,
nice.
Reflection. Yeah. All that sort of stuff. So
yeah, it's a strong trick.
Use that joke if you want. I'll let you.
Is that your original humor?
I wouldn't say that it's my original humor. I definitely heard it somewhere, but I have no idea where.
Did you get the new Peter Rabbit bunnies? The Daryl release? I got these.
Daryl released bunnies?
Yeah, it's his rabbits, which are specially printed.
Oh, is this the duck rabbit thing?
Yeah, right.
Right.
This
Yeah,
is
I
this is
saw
a
Jackie
Murphy.
you doing it.
Yeah. So
The
I
bird
have
rabbit.
I have work on this, and with Daryl's blessing, I actually produced my own set of bunnies to do my extended version of his routine. Sadly, it's gone. Sadly, I can't do my thing with these bunnies because of the special printing. Like, maybe I could wear it off of there. I have heard they're not that, like, you could probably just rub off that marker. But
Yeah,
like, here's
one
one like this. I say this is a duck, but with those bird wings, that doesn't look like a duck, right? Because of the printing on it. But the ears are long. But
Yeah,
can you see
he's done it in reverse. Yeah,
that too? Yeah. And I also would make a fish, which just doesn't make the fish right. It's just not. They're not the right size. So if anybody wants to buy some sponges, I got your hookup right here.
You can send it to me and it will never arrive. That'd be good.
Man, that's a sadness too.
There it is. Look at that.
It's like $100+ of magic in limbo, brother. That's a hurt.
Yeah, no, I shelled out that money for that.
Yeah, I know you paid for that.
Yeah,
and I put my ropes in that package to you.
Yeah, it's disappointing, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, hopefully it shows up, and if not, get one from Murphy's. You'll love it.
Yeah.
No, for real, you'll love it.
No, I have no doubt. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that I love it because it's right up my alley. Yeah, it's exactly the sort of magic that I normally do.
Daniel, that's a Murphy's release.
Yeah,
so they just came out last week.
Processed through an Australian facility on August 20, 2021.
Over like almost a month ago.
AM. Yeah. A month ago. So according to this tracking history, it is sat somewhere in Sydney right now.
I worry about that. I had to shut down my store for the evacuation. I had a couple orders when I got back, even though I tried to not take any. There's some weird links out there. I go to drop it off at the post office. It's not open. You know, there's no power still places here. So shipping things, ugh. It's my least favorite thing in life right now. You know, on the list of things that are not favorite. It's a short list, but that's one of them.
Yeah, mail is one of my least favorite things. Receiving mail, love it. Sending mail, not a fan.
Yes, this is where I need an office staff, Aaron.
Just to give you some context there, Adam Lubin, it's been 2 months that I've been waiting for this package. Yeah, it's not good. And the funny thing is because it was, when Murphy's messaged me and said, "Oh, we'll send you a bunch of magic," it arrived within 3 days.
They probably air mailed it with super. Yeah. They know exactly what they're doing. I just go to the post office and go, "Hey, here."
Yeah, they packaged it, sent it. Friggin' 3 days, man. Jason Solis, sorry, Doug. I bought something off your store last week.
Did I refund you or did I? What'd you buy, Jason? If it's a DVD, yours one of the packages that went in the post this morning. Was it Jason?
Jason Solis, yeah. Gosh, Doug, you've got your own customers apologizing for buying stuff from you. Come on. What a terrible business model.
Well, I think I got that order in right off the bat. If it was the DVD, I put a bonus in for being a couple days late because that's how I roll. And it is the card chart combo. I think that's sent too. I did send one of those out as well.
Let me tell you a story of woe there, Doug.
Please do. I need some more woe in my life right now.
So this right here is the Chinese sticks that I used, right? This one. And as you can tell, it's really nice. It's got the nice little thing. Makame magic stick.
Nice. Those are nice.
Nothing but quality, right?
Yep.
You can tell it looks great, feels great. It's a nice stick. Anyway, the tassel, which by the way looks really nice, right? Nice little tassel there. So he tied them on in the most like softest way possible that they came undone. And I just had all these strings everywhere. I actually had to retie these tassels myself. And if you've ever tied tassels before, it's a logistical fucking nightmare because you're supposed to, when you make a tassel, you actually use like a nail board and you wrap around these nails one whole thread, and then you
Ah.
tie it off, and then you cut the ends so that you end up with the tassely bits here. But because I only had the strings that were already made into a tassel, so it was all separate strings now. I had to take them and tie them individually to make a new tassel. And this didn't happen on just one. This happened on both of them. So I had to do it with both of these sticks.
You'll notice my sticks have Band-Aids wrapped around the top of them. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, well, these ones here now have tape.
Yeah, okay. Well, you can relate. I tried to change these tassels to match another tassel, not realizing how it would affect the weight.
Does yours have the? Can you do this with yours?
I can, but it's not ideal. This is an inexpensive set of sticks. These might have cost me $30.
I think this is the most killer part of the whole trick.
Being able to do that, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the part of the trick that fries people the most.
Yeah, okay.
Because it means that now the trick is a single string, right?
Yeah, right.
Rather than like potentially some gaffy thing going on there. But anyway, yeah, Mikame magic sticks. I love Mikame's work. I would say Mikame is one of my favorite magic prop.
Yeah, those aren't cheap sticks. I've eyeballed those before. I've eyeballed lots of magic Chinese sticks in my day because I do like the trick. But,
yeah, I like the trick as well. I like classic magic, old school magic. So yeah, there's that. I've also got, I don't know. I've got this here as well. This is a Mikame deck switcher. The old deck switcher. There's a deck of cards in there. Whoa, give it a shake and then switch it for another deck.
Okay.
Pretty cool, right?
Yep.
I don't know why I'm showing you that. I just like Mikame's work. I got a close-up table of his that has coin holdouts and stuff.
Bob, even the cheap Chinese sticks play well. You can buy like a $10 set of magic Chinese sticks and
agreed. I think Chinese sticks is one of those props that just like it is what it is, and it's timeless and it's a good trick. Right. And in like performing it live, so much better than performing it on the internet. Although performing on the internet is still good. It's received nothing but love. I mean, there are obviously people
that trick. I held off on that. That was when I was like digging in the bottom of the barrel, and I was like, I guess I'll do Chinese sticks. No one's gonna like this. And 5 million views on. It's my second most popular clip on YouTube. 5 million.
5 million.
Yeah.
Jeez.
How about that for the Chinese sticks? I'm
never gonna understand your YouTube account, man. Really, I'm not. I just can't.
Well, I buy my views from China. They're cheap there. That's a 30-second clip, so that's probably why that one did so well for me. It's a quickie and it's a unique effect. How long
was mine? I don't know how long my clip was. It wasn't too long.
That was me trying to make a Instagram reel happen, which I've given up on.
You still can't do.
I don't have a minute.
Mine's 36 seconds.
And I've had some reels that didn't even get any views. It's just ridiculous, like 0 views or 5 views. Like, how does that even happen? It's so frustrating. You want to talk about frustrating? That's a brick wall when you get like.
No, man, that's pretty much what I experience with the YouTube shorts. So
yeah, I'm looking like
your frustration with Instagram is the same as my frustration with YouTube.
29 views. 45 views.
Good. I'm glad that you're not it's like Immortal Enigma that just gets free views no matter what you do.
Instagram's my reality check.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that, man. Put you back down to reality.
They're like, Jason Maher's got this land covered. We don't need you here, Mr. Khan.
My area. Yeah, they're in the area that I can thrive on that you can't, right?
Thrive away. I don't know. I'm waiting for you just to go on YouTube. I know it's going to happen. So
no, I don't know that I want to go with shorts though nowadays. Like I've been thinking about it, and they what was it? I was talking with some of the guys from Murphy's, and he's working with a bunch of people who have gone viral with their shorts.
Yeah.
So I won't mention who, but just because it's probably not my place to talk about their specific analytics. But
Right.
so I won't mention who, but I will tell you the stories. And that is that all of them that have gone viral with these short form content are like making $0 off of YouTube. And whilst I am not making YouTube to make money, obviously, I don't really want to invest that much time and energy into making all these shorts and stuff to no avail, right? Like, what's the point of working so hard for nothing, right?
I hear you, and I have had concerns, but I've kept the faith, and I'm seeing YouTube show signs of good faith. And I have a meeting Wednesday with
Yeah, right.
So I think that they're concerned that their creators are not embracing the platform because of reasons like that. But I've also got a paycheck, and I'm hoping for another one that's better. So they are paying people.
But like, to give you an example, you've got what, 20 million views in the last month?
Yeah.
Right? Insane. That's an insane number. Now, if we was to take that and apply it to, say, like, you told us how much you made, but I won't mention that here.
Right.
But if you were to take that 20 million views and apply it to like a long form video, in fact, if we were to just take a million of those views and apply it to one long form video, you would already have made more than what you've made for the entirety of your month.
Understood. And I kind of view the energy I put on YouTube Shorts that a percentage of those viewers, and it's a small percentage, but it's still a percentage, are finding their way to my long form videos. Yeah. And through that, I am getting rewarded on that side as well. Mm-hmm. It's slow going, though. It's like, obviously two different worlds I'm dealing with. And we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it's still, compared to TikTok is just abysmal with the way it treats its creators. Like, if you're not in the 5 million to 10 million, you're probably not making a livable wage off the platform unless you have a business you're running on the side.
Man, I can't see how anyone is making money off that platform.
Yeah. Well,
because in Australia, we don't get a creator fund. We get nothing.
Well, even at my best, like when I've had I had a month where Switchblades did 5 million views. I think I made $200 off that video, like for the month. I mean, not just that video. So it's so small. It's like at my best on TikTok, I get a $200 check for the month. I might get in trouble talking about it, but guess what? I don't care because it's irrelevant. Like, what are you going to do? Ban me from the? I mean, okay.
They probably would.
They probably would. Well, okay, if you do TikTok, wow. Okay.
Start a new platform. You'll grow in no time.
I do think about saying it. I do think that they're interested in evolving their platform as well to help creators, because I have seen.
Well, they're upping it to 5-minute videos now, right?
Well, beyond that, I've had small conversations with that company as well, where they're interested in integrating link capabilities to their creators to give them a platform. Yeah, if you could just if we could have a link,
snap a link in the comment section, right, or something.
A link on the video. If you could put one link, just give us
a clickable link.
Yes, that would be
fucking insane. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm still sticking it out on Tuesday. I still see a potential for some growth there. Like, if you use TikTok to build an audience, and we'll say, 100%. I mean, TikTok is what Vine used to be, because Vine was the same thing where you couldn't, you wouldn't make a living off it, but it was a gateway into other things like starting your YouTube channel or all that sort of stuff. YouTube is still a funny cat, man. Like, it's not something that, rarely rewarded. Solemn rewarded until you are rewarded. Does that make sense? Like, it's very little reward until you are rewarded, and then it's a lot. So, all grind, but you got to stick it out. I got my plans. Like, I fully intend to start this 365 thing again soon, very soon. In fact, I've been planning it, writing down content and stuff. When I say 365, though, there is a difference. Like I said, I'm not going to be doing like a magic trick every day per se, but I'm going to be making a video every day. So I'm just redefining the rules of what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as to not stress myself out with trying to post.
Yeah, I as well aim to have more story in my content in the near future, in the all future. I think that's a big thing that I'm lacking. I'd like maybe capture some more of the culture in this city that I love and enjoy and don't share. Some of the other performers for sure. But just take a walk down Bourbon Street or stop at a jazz club or
Yeah, a little bit of a vlog setting, right? Like
a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not going to resume, Bob. I'm not going to resume. I'm going to start at day one. But I got to and yeah, exactly. You got to take care of yourself. So I'm going to start at day one because the point of a 365 is to do 365 days in a row, right? The thing that I'm trying to get here is originally I was like, I'll post a different magic trick every single day. And while doing it, I still had heaps of magic left, but there was a point where I was posting tricks solely for the point of posting tricks. Because I was like, I have to post a trick today. So I would like perform something that was definitely not up to my standard of performance and post it because I had no choice. Had to keep up with the quota. And that was not good. That was terrible. So I don't want to be doing that again, but I do want to be. I think sometimes it lowers magic quality to try and fit in 1 minute. No, not at all. I think that a 1 minute video is a 1 minute video, and like we've talked about this before, where it's like long form has its place and short form has its place, and
I've made bad choices where maybe I've sped up a video to try and get it under that 1 minute. Where I'm like talking too fast like this, and maybe it's not. It's like obvious. So there has been time for me when it has lowered the quality. But now, with effort and pre-thought, it doesn't happen.
I have never sped up a video.
You never have? Yeah, I have.
Sometimes people ask if I have because I speak so fast, but no, I've never sped up a video.
I've had a few where it's been like 1 minute and 3 seconds, and I just can't shave that damn 3 seconds off. But, that's about as bad as it's been. Maybe 1:04.
True. Well,
but now I can write the script. I write the script in the morning, and I'm like, yep, that's 53 seconds right there. And sure enough, when I say the words, it's 53 seconds.
Yeah, I write scripts as well. I think when have you really watched magic long form though? Is my question too, because I don't think I've ever really seen someone post like long form magic.
You should go back and go watch some of those old David Copperfield specials where he takes about 6 minutes of dancing to get to the effect.
Right, but yeah, and that's again a totally different setting, right? That's when magic's not nearly as popular, so I guess you can get away with that. But now, like the only person I've seen who does long form magic that's interesting is Daniel Roy. And even then, he's not really doing long form magic. He's doing like a subset of short forms condensed together into a long form. So I don't think that it's ruining magic at all. I just think that an internet audience is different to a live audience. Obviously, in a live setting, you can mess around and you can take your time and make more jokes, really just extend the experience. But when you're in a video, like none of these people know who you are. So you kind of just need to get to the point. You need to give them the value and then GTFO,
I think magic at its best, if it is truly a great art form, is live, and the longer form presentations are when it can connect the deepest. I think that's incredibly hard to attain successfully, and I think you look incredibly ridiculous if you fail at it. So it's a really hard thing to do, like real magic like that. But, in general, magic is a short form content anyway, right?
Yeah. I mean, a trick is a trick, right? It doesn't, all of the ones where you see people drag it out for a long time with some crazy story and stuff, they never really look great anyway. It always.
That's what I'm saying. Usually it's just badly done. I've seen a few do it well. I'm thinking of guys like Eugene Berger who could craft a great story. Jeff McBride does it sometimes.
I'm not a huge fan of Daniel. It's great. He's great at what he does, but not much magic. Wow. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, to each their own. I myself am a huge fan of Daniel Roy. I think that he is absolutely spectacular. He's one of the very few card magicians that I've watched that I can watch. from start to finish. Normally I will watch their routines, and halfway through I'm like, all right, that's enough, and I'll just turn them off. But he's one of the very few that I can watch all the way
agree.
through.
I think he's a great talent, certainly for YouTube. He has a great approach for the platform, and maybe
extremely well spoken.
Yeah, he might be the best magician going right now on YouTube. I don't know. For doing it successfully, right? Like, I see what he's doing, and it's like hitting all the check marks. I don't think
quality video, well shot, very well scripted. No,
and with subject matter that appeals to, when he's doing card magic with Pokemon cards, it's not because he loves it, right? He's doing that because the audience loves it. And again, he's finding himself with what the audience wants. And
yeah, that middle mix.
Yep.
I get it, Jason. Like, it's different strokes for different folks. Like, obviously, some people like the hard-hitting, fast magic, and other people don't. I think he's a breath of fresh air. He's like a diamond in the rough, I think.
I would like to know his origin story. Like, I don't know anything about him beyond.
He's only 24 years old, man.
Oh, he's so young. Wow.
Yeah, 24 years old, performs at the Magic Castle.
My guess would be, much like we're seeing guys like yourself appear on these platforms, we'll see more greatness appearing on YouTube. I know a lot of people dream of this as a avocation, a job. So it'll be interesting to see the next couple decades, really.
I think the quality of magicians is going up for sure that are appearing on these platforms.
Yeah.
They, there was a guy not that long ago who stopped suddenly, which is a little upsetting because I really enjoyed him. Stephen Bridges. Are you familiar with him?
Oh, yeah, sure. I agree.
I really liked his content, man. It was interesting.
Did he stop because of the pandemic? He was a busker, right?
He stopped before the pandemic. He stopped, from my understanding of it, because I can't really go into it, but I have a friend who's friends with him. I'm not friends with Stephen myself. I don't know him. But I have a friend who's quite close with him, and he said that Stephen had some opportunities present themselves which required him to not post for whatever reason. I guess maybe some kind of legal agreement. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
But because of that, he stopped. But he did say that he's coming back. So,
all right.
Yeah, eventually we'll see that channel start up again. He'll be posting again, which will be good, because I really enjoyed his stuff. I thought it was, again, a breath of fresh air. He was one of those few magicians that had a reasonable amount of chops and great personality, and wasn't just another tutorial channel.
Right. Had a nice point of view.
Yeah. What about you, Doug? You going to give up on the tutorials soon?
I don't know that I will, because I do feel like I have knowledge that's important to share with this audience.
I'm kind of the same way. I think I'll always teach stuff, but I just don't want that to be the main focus of my channel.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice if I can't find other things to share besides how to do a trick.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Like my whole thought process is like, I want people to watch the channel for me, and I might teach you some stuff here and there. Right?
Right.
That's kind of it. I want people to be like, oh, I like watching this Jason guy. Not like, oh, I hope he teaches me something cool today. Yeah. I'll teach you something cool.
I hope that happens through osmosis in some forms. So we were talking about the magic shops that aren't there anymore. One of the great things about them was you could go in and hang out with the professionals and get their advice.
Right. Yeah. And you can't do that now, right?
You can't do that now. So this is providing that outlet. I think that's kind of a thing, And as well, for like we're doing here, it's a hangout. We got our chat going. Me and you are talking, and again, now this is happening in our new world. It's just
it's kind of what this podcast is about. I don't know what's going to happen with this podcast, whether it will grow or stay the same, but it is just a place where Magi can hang with us. Yeah. By the way, Jason, you're a champ. Just so you know, I'm not grilling you about it. You're allowed to have your opinions on different magicians and stuff like that. Of course, like we all have our different. Like for example, I'm not really a big fan of who was it that we were talking about? I can't even remember his name now. He was on America's Got Talent, young bloke. He's in Vegas now.
Matt Franco?
That's it, Matt Franco. I'm not really a big fan of his. I find him to be incredibly boring.
Yeah, quite mediocre, I thought as well.
Yeah, but everybody loves him. Like people love him, and that's like I said, different strokes for different folks. But in saying that though, you can't deny his success, right? The guy's got a show in Vegas.
Not at all. Not at all.
It's so funny.
This again speaks volumes for how great good magic can be. It's like that was not his magic. And all due respect to Matt Franco, I'm sure he busted his ass and did to get everything he's got, but still, he's not exceptional, right? He's just good at best. So it's like you can be just a good magician and go great places because people don't get to see good magic often. It's usually bad magic. So when they see good magic, you get good things happening.
Yeah, I think some of the only magicians that I've seen in the Vegas setting where I'm like, they belong there is, Penn and Teller, for example. They belong there. There's
Copperfield, dude.
Copperfield, yeah. Man. There's no mediocre with those guys. Those guys are it was exceptional. Like,
yes, yep.
Who's the other one? Josh's favorite magician. What's his name?
I would say Chris Angel certainly deserves his spot.
A lot of people don't like Chris Angel. I remember watching his TV show when I was younger, and I didn't enjoy it. And then towards the end of that TV show's lifespan, he started to do a lot more sleight of hand stuff.
Okay.
I don't know if you noticed that, but he did this chop cup routine with a full script about how he used to make coffee for his grandmother, I think it was.
Interesting.
And the end result of this whole routine is that he actually produces a cup of coffee. It's all in one take as well. He does the ball under the cup and disappearing, and then the cup is full of coffee beans, and then the coffee beans turned into coffee. And I was like, damn. I was like, that is a good routine, man. And people were still shitting on him. And I was like,
yeah. And as you're saying, this is at the end of his run where this man put more magic on television than any magician in history. So, and we know how hard it is to put quality magic on a screen. Imagine doing it on a television level. Right, where
thanks,
you have
Oscar.
Network TV to make happy.
Oscar's being very friendly. Thank you, Oscar. yeah, it's much better without Josh here. Wouldn't you agree?
Josh ruins everything.
It's I don't know. It's it's just a funny thing. Magic is a weird platform. There's always going to be the people that hate, people that think magic is dead. Like, what's his name again? Jabrizi, that one. And then and then we got the people like the overhyped people. There are overhyped magicians for sure. Like this is an unpopular opinion, but I think Shin Lim was one of the most overhyped magicians of our generation.
My wife makes vomit sounds every time she sees his face.
It's not that I don't like him too, because he seems like a really cool dude, right? And he's obviously got some real skill, but my goodness, man, you can only eye fuck the camera so many times before it's just like, dude, like, you got to come up with a new angle, man. You got to at least perform something.
Sadly, in my experience, he's not a cool dude. I've met the guy, I've hung with him, and I've been two-faced by him, where he was calling me a dumb old guy on the internet. I'm like, wow, that's really childish of you to say that on Facebook.
Wait, what? Shin Lim?
Yeah, like he was here. We were trying to open a magic thing, the Mystere Mansion. He did a show, and he also did a lecture. And so I emceed that show that he was on. And prior to that, we met at a cafe for lunch, and all just fine. A few months later, we're chatting on the internet, and he tells me my opinion doesn't matter because I'm an old guy who doesn't know what's relevant.
Whoa!
Okay, then. I'm
whoa!
Like,
and now look at you, like you've almost got the same following that he has.
Well, I look forward to surpassing his numbers on YouTube.
That's so funny. Yeah, you've almost got the same sized following as he's got, right? Like,
it's just what when you say he's cool, he's not really in my book. But look, I respect his work.
I respect his 2 million on. So this is your goal there, Doug. You got to get a million on YouTube, 2 million on TikTok. And on Instagram, let's take a look at that.
Do I have to get a showroom? And do I need to win AGT twice and then get a Las Vegas showroom as well?
You don't need to do any of that and then you got to get 800,000 on Instagram.
What happened with him, I think, is that magic, in particular in this country, had not been shown award-winning magic acts. I mean, they'd seen some of it in the 90s with like the world's greatest magic specials. But Shin Lim crafted a thing that was perfect for television, and then America got to see it. It was a
good act.
And it was
a good act.
Created for FISM, which is magic for TV. That's what
Yeah.
FISM is. You know,
No, it was a good act. Was
Yeah.
it 52 Shades of Red? Brilliant name, brilliant everything.
Yeah,
It's good. It's a good trick, good routine, and he did really well. But you know, so like I said, like you can't take away that from them, obviously.
Yeah.
I just don't think that you know, like if I was, you know, at working, let's say I was working a function, and there was 2 walk around magicians there besides myself. It was me, and then there was you, and then there was Shin Lim, right? I would imagine that you and I would be, assuming that they don't know who any of us are, right? The audience don't know who any of us are.
Yeah.
I would assume that you and I would be the 2 that were hired back.
Very likely.
Yeah. That's you know, like
well,
I said,
and look, I think it speaks volume that the Shin Lim show is actually the Shin Lim and Colin McLeod show, and Colin is the one who does the speaking in that show, right? Like he's the voice, I think, of.
Well, Shin Lim doesn't speak, right?
Well, not a lot, right? Like I don't know that his skill set runs that deep. At least
I heard that he was on a stage once performing and the power went out, so the cameras weren't able to show his close-up magic stuff on the big screen, and that he just went off stage and waited until the
well,
which
you know,
to me is crazy. Like that's I'm like, what the heck?
No, I always say if you can find your own venue, then good for you, and I guess he found it. But yeah, I wouldn't mind if I lost power, I'd keep the show going.
Yeah, I'd keep it going as well. Just by the way, just to preference this, just in the off chance that old mate Shin Lim starts watching for some reason, not that he will, but if he does, I don't want him to think that we're like shitting on him or anything. Everyone has their thoughts. Like you think Doug's a dumb old guy. I also think Doug is a dumb old guy as well. So I agree with you.
I'm more senile than dumb. I don't know if I'm dumb. I'm just senile.
Getting on there, aren't you, buddy? Saying weird shit like the Chinese sticks are good. What the hell is wrong with you? Well, I think we've done well. You know, we've sat here for an hour and 20.
Nice.
I think that's a pretty sizable amount of conversation.
No arguments.
We had an average of about 11 to 15 people hanging out with us.
Thank you, guys.
I appreciate each and every one of you.
Double that.
We'll see you next time. There's not going to be any end screen thing going on. I'm just going to end the broadcast right now.